All right. Good afternoon, everybody who's watching from North America. Good evening to those of you who are watching from the UK and Europe. This is a global call and our first ever Collagen Elixir Masterclass with a very, very special guest. Our intention for this call is to really bring together all of the beauty professionals and health professionals who are a part of the global organization, who are leveraging or are seeking to leverage collagen elixir inside of their businesses and inside of their practices as a way to provide a tremendous value add to their existing clientele and patients, and also bring in a very lucrative potential income stream with this product, and how much of a viral effect that this product has because of how effective it is. And so I just want to get a sense for who's on the call right now. Please drop a 1 in the chat box if you are a beauty professional. Drop a 2 in the chat box if you are a health professional. And let's just see who makes up this group that's on here live. Now, we are going to be getting into the particulars and really into depth with the science, whereas most of the training that exists out there is keeping things at a very high level for the layman who aren't pros like yourselves. But what we also know to be true, and what I have found in countless conversations with different beauty professionals and health professionals, is that you're experts in your field. And so when you have clients and patients who are asking you questions about collagen elixir, when you make the recommendation and you feel stumped because you don't know how to answer really every question or feel like you have comprehensive enough information about the product and a comprehensive understanding of the science of it, you might not feel as comfortable in freely sharing this product to all the people that deserve to have it. So that's really the intention today, is to go into the depths of the science. I see lots of 1s and 2s in the chat box. Can you also drop in what is your profession? I know that on the call today, we have chiropractors, acupuncturists, dietitians, nutritionists, massage therapists, estheticians, body contouring specialists, lash techs, nail techs, nurse injectors. We have people from all corners of the world. So we got, let's see, I'm just reading in the chat box. We've got a beauty skin coach, esthetician, nurse, gym owner, and dietist, hairstylist. Okay, so I think we got a yoga studio owner, a medical practice. Fantastic. So this call is for you. So without further ado, I would love to introduce our guest speaker. She's the reason why we're all here, to learn from her. Sara Richter, if you've ever gone to an Isagenix event, she always has a big keynote presentation doing some type of in-depth product education or science talk. She has her master's degree in nutrition sciences. She's been with Isagenix for almost 12 years. She also makes things so simple to understand for the everyday lay person like myself, and like some of us on the call who are here just wanting to learn what we can. And she's really a wealth of knowledge, and we've prepared a lot of questions for Sara today. I think we're going to be hopefully getting all of your questions answered, but perhaps we'll have time for some Q&A in the end in case there's something that we missed. So Sara, I think yep, there you go.
Hi there. Hello. Thanks for having me. Love this.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on today. Before we get into the questions, was there anything about your background and your work on the development of collagen elixir that you wanted to kind of highlight before I start peppering you with 1,000 questions?
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't, of course, I never do anything in a vacuum at Isagenix. It's always, a collaboration, and of course, under the leadership of our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Josh Plant. But one thing I will say with this product is we've been wanting to have a collagen product for a while. We've had our eye on it. We were pretty close to launching one like 5 years ago or so, but we really decided to follow the science and wait till we had the best of the best to really put together a product like this. And really, if you look at the science of collagen, just over the last like 5 years, it's really advanced, and especially when it comes to the marine collagen and the skin support. So I think the main thing would say is that in true Isagenix fashion, we follow the science and we really waited till we could put out the best product we could. So, I mean, just know that a lot of thought and time went into putting this together. And I hopefully you all agree that I think we did a pretty good job.
Oh, absolutely. And $200 million in sales in the first 15 months or so really proves that to be true. This is a product that works, that people love and keep reordering. Thank you for all of your hard work on it and all the education that you provided and for taking time out of a very, very busy schedule to be here with us today. So Sara, for those who don't know exactly what is collagen, where is it derived from? How is it extracted? If you could, let's just kind of start off with that basic question.
Yeah. And you know, too, another thing I love about this product is collagen. While there's a science to it, and of course you can get deep in the weeds as far as the science and anatomy and physiology and how it all works, it's also relatively easy. Whether it's because it's been around for a while in supplements or products and people just generally know, oh, it helps my skin, my joints, my bones, what have you. It's not too complicated. But just for a reminder, right, collagen is the most abundant protein made by our body. It's basically like all proteins, right? We love protein at Isagenix. We've been talking about whey protein forever, plant protein, but with collagen, what makes it unique and why it has the benefits that it has is because of its amino acid profile. It is different and unique from all the other proteins. And basically it's the 3 amino acids, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline that make collagen so unique. And the reason why supplementing or getting a good high quality collagen product can help make a difference is because, like with most things, as we age, our body's ability to make its own, produce its own collagen for all the important functions that it has in the body, that capability is reduced. And a lot of people, some people don't realize, but even like starting around age 18 in our 20s, collagen production drops. And then by the time we get to about age 40, we're losing about 1% a year of our collagen. And then by the time you get to about age 80, your collagen production compared to a younger person is reduced by like 75%, up to 75. So it's definitely one of those things that as we get older, our body just can't keep up. So it is important to get it in your diet or to get a high quality supplement. And something too, like as far as diet, not many people are cooking or eating in a way where you're getting a super collagen rich diet, maybe in some parts of the world, but not many. And especially if you're eating in a modern way, you're probably not getting much collagen at all. So it really does make a difference to get that collagen in your diet or through a high quality supplement. Now, as far as our collagen, right, we're getting it from fish, marine sources, cod, pollock, and haddock are the 3 fish that we're getting it from. We're getting it from the skin and the scales from the fish. And basically, I mean, not to get too deep into the extraction process, but basically enzymes are used to help break down the collagen in the skin and the scales. And that's what results in hydrolyzed collagen or collagen peptides. Just know collagen peptides and hydrolyzed collagen are the same thing. And that, though, is an important factor that when you are taking collagen or using collagen, you do want hydrolyzed or peptides because it's a smaller molecular size that the body can absorb. Native collagen, unfortunately, is too big of a molecule for us to absorb, to digest, and for the body to use. So you do need to be using a hydrolyzed collagen or collagen peptides, which is exactly what we're using. But, you know, again, one thing that's cool actually though about marine collagen as compared to bovine collagen, it does have to come from a living animal, but it can come from vertebrates and invertebrates. But as far as ours, it's pretty cool because a lot of the parts of the fish that are used, right, as far as the fishing industry, most of it is used for food. For restaurants and food production. Whereas the skin, the scales, that's quite often a waste product, a byproduct of fish for food industry. So we've partnered with a collagen source or fishery that they're very sustainability forward. They've got all the certifications and partnerships. They're up in around Norway in the Scandinavian waters. And they're very big on utilizing all parts of the fish and doing it in the freshest, most sustainable way they can. Because a lot of times too, and this is something that you can tell as far as a fishy odor or a taste, which some marine collagens will have that. And that really does speak to the freshness of it or how it was produced. So with ours, a lot of times, like I said, the collagen or the parts used for collagen extraction are usually a waste product. So a lot of times, these fisheries will, take the food portions that they're going to use to sell for food, but then they send it on down the line to another vendor to then process it to use the parts for collagen. Whereas we're partnering with a fishery that does everything right there. And they process all of the fish to be used. I mean, of course, some is still being used for food, but they are processing it for collagen use right there. So it's not, being sent and who knows how long before it's processed. So that results in a very, very fresh end product for us in our collagen peptides. And like I said, they use enzymes. There's a couple of ways that you can extract or break down the collagen peptides. Some use acids. We're using natural enzymes. It's a little bit more gentle. And also too, it results in a higher solubility. So it's easier to absorb or it's easier to mix into that liquid, the end product. So it's really good. And again, because of, you don't get a fishy taste. Because in which we'll talk about the science that we have on it, our product definitely is effective, and that high quality that goes into the sourcing and the processing really does show up in the finished product.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. That was just such a great overview to really understand the differentiator, especially when it comes to sourcing, of course, what to look for in the right type of collagen that our bodies can uptake. And, I want to highlight what you talked about with partnering up with a sustainable fishery that's already fishing and providing fish to restaurants, et cetera. And I think that that's why so many vegans feel really comfortable taking this product, because vegans need collagen as well. And when they understand that we're using parts that would otherwise go to waste, that this isn't any additional harm to any animals, that's always something that I highlight with people who are vegans and who are concerned, because like you said, collagen must come from a living animal. And there are these, plant collagen products out there, which maybe you can speak to, that aren't actually what you think they are.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a vegan collagen product. And not to say though, and when you really look at those products, when you look at the ingredients, or even sometimes it's funny, I've seen some that it will say like, plant-based collagen, but then like in very small print or print that you can't really see very well, it's collagen, like collagen support or, pro collagen factors, meaning they're putting together other components the body needs to make its own collagen. Because there are other components that the body needs to produce its collagen. The main one is the actual collagen peptides, but things like zinc, vitamin C, copper, there are some other nutrients ingredients. So that's what those vegan collagen products are. They're just a collection of those other components, which doesn't mean they're terrible, but if you are really wanting the effectiveness of collagen and to really have the good benefits, I would absolutely consider using a marine collagen like ours.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of marine collagen, Isagenix obviously could have chosen the more commonly found collagen sources like bovine, like chicken. Can you speak to why the research team decided to go with marine collagen, and just briefly explain the differences between those collagen types?
Yeah, and I don't want to bash other types of animal collagen. Each one can be unique or have its, pros and cons. And we do use bovine collagen in 2 other of our products, our collagen bone broth, as well as our Amped Repair product. But it really does come down to the type of collagen or the source of collagen ends up having a different profile, if you will, of the types of collagen. So there's quite a lot of collagen types. There's over 20 or so that have been identified in the human body. But the main types are types 1 through 5, 4 or 5. And type 1 being the most common. It's in our skin, our teeth, tendons, ligaments, our organs. Type 2 is in our cartilage. Type 3 is also in our skin, our muscle, our blood vessels. So, collagen is everywhere. But it does depend on the type as to what benefit it has. So marine collagen is type 1. Bovine is a mixture of type 1 and type 3. Chicken is typically type 2. Then there's also, you can get collagen from pork, which also is pretty similar to beef or bovine, being a mixture of some of the types. But the reason why we chose marine and type 1 is because of type 1 being the most present in skin. And when you look at the science and the research, especially the most recent research, type 1 it's got the most evidence for supporting the markers of skin health that we want to support with this product. And we knew too that, whereas collagen bone broth and our Amped Repair, those are more for maybe more joint support or just overall collagen support, we really wanted this product to be a skin, really make a difference in our skin health. So that's why we chose marine type 1. Yeah.
And can you speaking of scientific research and evidence, can we talk a little bit about the latest results from the clinical study that got peer-reviewed, written up in a prestigious medical journal? I think everybody would love to hear about that.
Yes, and if you haven't already, you need to go to isagenixhealth.net, because we do have an article that links to the actual paper, the peer-reviewed publication. It breaks it down, but basically, and to be honest, not that we were surprised, but we were pleasantly surprised by these results. Basically, after daily use of one collagen elixir a day, at the end, compared to placebo, compared to baseline results, there was an increase in collagen production, or the density of collagen, meaning the body is making its own. There was improved elasticity in the skin, reduction in wrinkles and fine lines. There was increased skin moisture. Also, too, what we were kind of surprised by, or again, pleasantly surprised, there was a reduction in hyperpigmentation and UV spots, which that's big. I know after I read it, I was like, okay, I'm never missing a day of this again. Being in Arizona, sun, I'm always thinking about, the sun damage. So really, really great results. And again, just showing, this product absolutely works, and it works in very, very real ways. And then also too, yes, it's always good to have that clinical third-party validation, but, and I guess why we shouldn't be too surprised, look at all the personal before and afters that we've seen over the past year. I keep seeing, I saw one, I don't know if you've all seen, but I saw one of a gal with it was her underarm. Oh my Lord. So, it's not surprising, but it's still, to have that third-party validation and the peer-reviewed research makes it an even stronger case for why somebody should be using this product.
Absolutely. And so isagenixhealth.net is where that research sits. There's a study summary there, and then a link to, like Sara said, the more comprehensive data. What I love most about this study is that 100% of participants saw an increase in collagen. and 0 participants had any type of adverse reaction. So for those of you who are concerned about clients who have different types of sensitivities, as long as they're not allergic to fish or have any type of contraindication with any medications that they might be on or medical reasons not to take collagen, which I really haven't heard of any personally, that this is a very, very safe product for people to take, even the most sensitive types like myself.
Right. And also too, remember, this was after 4 weeks. 4 weeks. So that also was a important part about the study that really makes you go, oh, wow. Yeah, like this product's pretty good. It works.
Mm-hmm. And then, so this was a 4-week result. What happens as people continue to use the product? Is there a point where there's diminishing returns or where they should stop using it? Can you speak to that a little bit, please?
Yeah, well, and not to say that, if you're taking your collagen elixir and you miss a day or two here and there, it's going to stop working. Not at all. However, though, because our body is constantly producing collagen and needing it for for areas in our body, you do need to get it on a regular basis if you want it to have the continued effects. And as far as what can you expect to see maybe versus 4 weeks versus, 12 weeks or longer, I think that's and that's where science, the clinical science doesn't help us much because you may know, but studies can be hard to get done. And especially very, very long-term studies. So currently there are no studies that have looked at daily collagen use a year plus out. So we don't really have any clinical data points we can look at, but there too, I go back to the personal testimonials that we've seen people have shared, and we are starting to see them now of a year and people having those checkpoints of like, okay, this was 3 months in, this is now a year later. So I think that provides really good evidence to say, yes, you're going to see continued improvement. And then too, it might also just be a matter of kind of upkeep, right? For our body, if we want our skin to stay as healthy as it can be, you do need to get your daily collagen or practically everyday collagen to help support your body making its own. Because that's what it's about. It's about helping your body make its own collagen so that it can increase, its collagen density and all those markers that were found in the study. But it is definitely something that, just like you have to eat protein every day, excuse me, and carbohydrate and fats and vitamins and minerals, you do need to eat collagen most days if you want to have that continued effect and benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a supplement to continue introducing to the body all the time. So the body has its resources to be able to produce what it needs and not use and deplete stores and pull from bones and joints and organs, et cetera, which when people aren't properly supplementing with collagen, we see people that literally look like they're falling apart and skin sagging and so on. It's because they don't have the resources anymore that are being introduced.
And one thing I will say too, because this is something a lot of people don't think about. Yes, supplementing with collagen works, especially one like ours when it's done right, high quality. But you do need to be sure that you're getting adequate protein outside of collagen. And I know sometimes too, people will get caught up in like, oh, it's only 5 grams protein or what have you, but collagen peptides should not necessarily be viewed as the same as your protein that you eat in your diet for muscle satiety. And it is true that if you are not getting adequate protein outside of collagen, your body could just use that collagen that you're consuming for other functions. Right? Because at the end of the day, the body is going to break down and use what it needs where it needs it, right? We don't have to tell it what to do. So, and even though we didn't study this, we haven't looked at it, I think if we were to study, if we were to compare somebody not getting adequate protein in their diet versus somebody who does get it, if they both supplement with collagen, I bet you would see much better results in that person getting adequate protein. So that is an important part, that be sure you are getting adequate protein, which of course, Isagenix has you very well covered there, to make sure that collagen peptides that you're consuming are really going to where you want it, which is, your skin health.
That is really valuable information. Thank you for hitting on that. There's a lot of other products that are out there that really don't come anywhere close to the quality standards that we have, which is why they don't get the results that they do. Can you speak a little bit to like powdered collagen, also to our cofactors and how that makes ours even more unique, the bottling, the dosing of it, et cetera.
Yeah.
So really for people to really understand what sets this apart from what else is out there.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, I mean, starting with like powder versus liquid, while both can or may be effective, I think the liquid has a couple of, things that maybe make it more superior for people. For one, it is true that, you are going to be digesting it, absorbing it very likely quicker. Especially too, like with powders, it depends, like, what are you mixing it into, right? Are you mixing it into a shake? Are you mixing it into, just plain coffee? A lot of people will mix it into a smoothie. So that's fine. Because right now you're making it into a liquid, but then also too, you are now putting it into a food matrix where there's a lot of other nutrients going on. So by having, pretty much a relatively plain collagen shot like ours, you are very likely going to be digesting it, absorbing it quicker and more effectively than, say, mixing it into a meal shake. And not to say that you can't have our collagen even, let's say, maybe before a meal or after a meal. And one thing I will say for those people, some people who have very sensitive stomachs, some people may find that it's better when they have it right around a meal, right? Because that can just help with overall digestion. But I think with ours, when you just look at the shot itself, the liquid is easier to consume. I mean, that's another thing too. You don't have to mix it. You can just open it and drink it and you're done. And also too, it tastes really good. A lot of times, I mean, I've tried a few. I haven't really done any collagen experimenting since we launched ours because I feel there's no need, but they don't always taste that great. A lot of them too will try to pack in, 15 grams, 20 grams. Usually though it's bovine, which again, that's okay. But for the skin benefits, and that's why too, we chose the 5 grams. 5 grams of marine collagen peptides does have the evidence existing already showing that, yes, that's going to support skin health. So that's why we went with 5. But back to the powders though, there'll be 20 grams, it's bovine. And again, the taste might be, I don't know. Sometimes they're not as easy to mix into something. So there's ease of use, which that does play a big part. I mean, I'll tell you, my boyfriend is the biggest supplement taker of all time. And he uses a lot of products. He loves Isagenix products, but he uses a lot. But he does have, and he's the type too, he buys like 6 months worth. He's a bulk buyer. And he bought this powdered collagen, to make in his shakes. And and he puts a lot of stuff other in there as well. So that could be a factor. But anyway, he didn't use it because he didn't like the taste. It didn't make his shakes how he wanted to. So now we've got all these tubs, which I did eventually throw away, tubs of collagen because he didn't use it, right? I mean, a supplement can only be so good if you're using it. And that's important. And I think with ours being the liquid, being that it tastes really good, it's really easy to take, that results in people continually using it and making it a part of their normal routine. So I think there's that. And then also too, whether it's powder or liquid, the main thing you want to look at is it collagen peptides? Is it hydrolyzed collagen? And then the amounts. And especially like with marine, there are definitely other marine collagen products out there, and there's even some liquid shots, but a lot of them sometimes are sprinklings. They're less than a gram. They're definitely not 5. So I think you want to look at the types, the amount, and then also those other, functional properties of it, like how does it mix? How am I going to make this? How am I going to take it? Is it going to fit in? Does it taste good? All of those things do make a difference. They really do. So I think with ours, it just, it's a really great tasting product. It's easy to take and it's effective.
So what do you attribute such a vastly different result that Isagenix Collagen Elixir gets for people visibly that these other powdered collagens just don't achieve? I I mean, people are blown away by our before and afters. Is it the cofactor ingredients? Is it our bottling method? Is it the sourcing of our collagen? What do you think it is?
Well, I think it's a combination of all, right? And thanks for reminding me there. I mean, for one, we talk about the sourcing, very high quality, done in a very superior way. But then to the bottling, we are partnered with like the world leader in the bottling technology and machinery that allows the product to be mixed and bottled and sealed in like 0.15 seconds, insane. And it's all done, there's no human interaction that has to take place. So it's a very, very high tech process. And what that results in is, again, freshness, but then also not having to use a lot of preservatives in the product. That can help with not necessarily effectiveness, but it kind of more is probably taste, freshness of it. But then also too, that is a good point. It's not just the collagen peptides. We are putting in other factors that the body needs to produce its own collagen, like vitamin C, zinc. We are using other botanicals that are known to have some skin soothing properties like aloe, chamomile, goji berry, acerola. So I think it is a combination of all of those things. Of course, the 5 grams, that absolutely makes a difference. And then also too, we do know, even though, you don't have to take 2, I do know, even myself, sometimes plenty of people who do take 2 a day. So even the doubling up can help, increase those results. So I really do think it's a combination of all of those factors that's making ours so effective while others aren't so much.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm going to phrase this next question in the most compliant way I can possibly think of. Why is it that people who have a lot of redness in their skin, a lot of irritation, puffiness even over the whole body, changes to scar tissue, like what's happening functionally that's allowing that to clear up and puffiness to be so reduced?
That's a good question. And again, it's in the clinical evidence or the scientific research, there's not a lot that has looked at that or really gotten to the core of what's going on. But I think, another thing about collagen or marine collagen especially is that it can also act as an antioxidant in the body. So depending on the person and what's the root cause of skin tone or redness or, inflammation, what have you, that it's dependent on then how is that collagen going to help. So there's no clear answer, but I think just, collagen helping produce our own collagen, acting as an antioxidant, all of those things are going to combine to, help with skin tone or redness and, helping maybe feel less inflamed. But it is kind of one of those, we don't really know for sure, but we do know that it's happening. And then also too, actually, if you look at our study results and the reduction in those UV spots and hyperpigmentation, that's kind of a sign that, okay, the collagen is helping, damage control, if you will. So it's really not too surprising then that we are seeing reduction in redness and just inflammatory markers in the skin.
I didn't know if I could say inflammation or inflammatory. That's what I was.
We're really not supposed to. You won't see it in our official marketing, but like there's no other way to say it.
Yeah, I was doing my best. And so thank you for that explanation. And part of also what we're seeing for those of you who are new and really working with people who have different injuries, whether, chiropractors, acupuncturists, functional doctors, et cetera, we've seen quite a few cases now with people who've had athletic injuries and just long-term stuff that is continuing to have improvements in terms of comfort level and mobility and so on with the use of this product. So it's really like we market this as a beauty product and as, an extension of skincare, but can you speak a little bit to really like the functional benefits, what's happening inside of the body with the use of this?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, just always remember collagen we consume is gonna help the areas of collagen in our body, right? I mean, it is kind of a, depending on the type or, consuming collagen is gonna help where collagen works in our body. And I mean, apart from the skin, collagen is our cartilage or ligaments, making up those areas around our joints. And also too, remembering that the body will use what it needs where it needs it. So that's why we are seeing some people who maybe aren't noticing so much skin benefits as they are maybe joint, because that's just the body, using it how it needs to use it. But basically it does go back to, though, helping the body produce its own collagen, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. Because like I said, our body's ability to produce its own goes down, and that's not only going to affect our skin, that's going to affect our ligaments, our tendons, so our joints. So when we are consuming a good, high quality source, and it is going to, support our body, absolutely, it can still support your joints or your cartilage. So it really is the simplest way to say it, I think, is helping your body make its own collagen. And when we consume it, our body will use it where it needs.
Super valuable. Thank you. So a few kind of like frequently asked questions for professionals. We can just kind of rattle through these. Is biotin okay for acne clients in the dosage that we have in collagen elixir?
Yeah, and I did look into that, to check on any recent research, and there's really none as far as a clear connection, as biotin being an issue for acne. Though I did read, reading the blogs out there, you can find some words of advice of, it may make it worse. But actually, I did find some recent research showing that no, it doesn't. Biotin, in fact, biotin can help improve markers of acne or just skin health in general for people who are dealing with acne. Another thing too, I mean, biotin, while yes, it's good general support for hair, skin, and nails, there are, when you get in those mega doses, is when, and it's more of a contradiction with certain blood tests. But I will say what's in ours is not a mega dose. There's 30 micrograms, which is 100% of your DV, your daily value, which again doesn't necessarily imply optimal amount. It's more what keeps people out of deficiency. But when you look at, I mean, I don't know, for fun, next time or online, go look at some hair, skin, nail biotin products. They can have up to like 15,000% DV. I mean, we're talking mega doses. And so what's in ours is not that. It's more of a general daily. And again, too, I mean, not to say that it's impossible whenever, and maybe that's where the, kind of the idea that biotin may cause acne came from, is whenever you are taking mega doses of something, not to say all bets are off, but weird things can happen, right? I mean, that's why mega doses are, so it's of course human nature to think, oh, more is better, but not necessarily. And that's why, like, we'll never mega dose anything, because it's really not necessary. As long as you're getting a good daily amount, you're covered. So I would not anticipate that what's in ours would cause any issues. But of course, I mean, everybody's different. But overall, no, there should not be any issues. And there is no scientific evidence saying that, biotin is going to make acne worse or cause acne. So it really shouldn't be a problem.
Great. Thank you. I mean, we've just only seen, again, the visual results showing that it's improving so many people's situations, but a lot of people ask, so thought we'd hit on it. Is it okay to take collagen elixir alongside of medical grade serums, retinol from dermatologists, et cetera?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's like the best, routine you can do. I mean, of course, our Celatoire is great in addition, which we do have some preliminary evidence showing that the combination absolutely gets some great results. But even with Celatois, I still use a retinol product, right, in my nightly routine. So all of these things go great together. So yeah.
Awesome. And I know that there's a lot of practitioners on here who work with pre and post op clients and patients. Can you speak to, is it just kind of all encompassing what we were talking about before? Or is there anything specific to people getting ready to go into and recovering from surgery that collagen helps them with?
Yeah, well, and what's really cool about collagen, and especially marine collagen, when you look at the research or the science that's going on around it, a lot of it is biomedical uses. So, I mean, not just skin, but advanced wound healing. They're able to make, they're doing some cool things with tissue re-engineering. So they're doing some really, really cool things, but a lot of it does go back to helping the body heal, like the wound healing. So absolutely, I think, and of course, speaking with your doctor, depending on what your surgery or operation is, may make a difference. So start there, but just knowing how collagen works, what it does for the body, I would say absolutely, I would make it part of a pre and post operation routine, as well as this is where protein is also important too. Protein and collagen would be a great combination from what, the science and from what I can tell. Absolutely.
Great, thank you. I recently went through surgery in December, and my nurses and surgeon couldn't believe how quickly my incisions were healing and how quickly I was feeling amazing. And I really attribute a lot of that to the Isagenix nutrition combined with having used collagen elixir heavily in my preparation. So thank you for touching on that. For those who are watching who work a lot with athletes, what I've noticed is that athletes feel as though collagen elixir really has enhanced their performance. Is it just kind of the same joint support, tissue support? Is there anything else that we're not considering that's helping them?
Yeah, no, it probably is mostly related to that. And actually, there is good research. And in fact, even the International Sports Society Institute, which is a world authority on sports performance and sports nutrition, one of their recommended protocols for athletes is to, before an event or before a race or competition, or any time that you're going to be really pushing yourself, that you load up on collagen in the day before, because it will have, or it looks to have, a protective effect on those joints, and so that less likely to have injury, or able to just go harder, stronger, because your joints are working how they need to. So that is a recommended protocol for athletes. So, but it is likely very much just around that joint support, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, all that.
Great. Well, that's a really great tip that I think a lot of us will personally use when going into any sort of, sporting events, but to also be able to recommend it. Thank you for that. Sara, there's a lot of misunderstanding out there about ascorbic acid. And, people get hung up on this idea that ascorbic acid, it's grown on mold, and there's just all this weird crud on the internet about it. Can you explain our source of ascorbic acid, vitamin C, and how we can help to overcome the objection of clients who question this?
Yeah, so ascorbic acid is vitamin C, right? Vitamin C is ascorbic acid. And the body recognizes those things the same, whether you have an orange or whether you have ascorbic acid in a supplement. And one thing about ascorbic acid, and okay, so here's the thing. We can, especially now, as of late in the last few years, we can both extract vitamins and minerals from whole foods, but we can also use ones that are made. And both can be good. Both can have benefits for the body. Both can work effectively. And at Isagenix, we are starting to use more food-derived, food-form vitamins and minerals, and that's fine. And it's not to say, though, that synthetically made is inherently bad. It's just, we do want to be, we're staying at the forefront of the food science and what they're able to do. And some people are maybe going to prefer food form, right? Those people who want the methylated B vitamins and all that, right? So we are starting to experiment in some of our products with food form. However, when it comes to ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, you are not going to find a more well-studied safety, effectiveness results than ascorbic acid. I mean, there's studies. So when you go to the hospital, and if you are extremely malnourished, certain diseases, certain cancers, they literally inject you with ascorbic acid to have a benefit, right? To help in some way. And they've been doing that for years. So it is absolutely safe. It's absolutely effective. There's even there is some science showing that ascorbic acid, when it's not in that food matrix, right? Because remember, when we eat food or we get nutrients from our food, it's in a matrix. And sometimes it's not as easily absorbed as saying having ascorbic acid not in that food matrix. So ascorbic acid, again, it's super safe, super effective at supporting your vitamin C status. It's just fine. And here's the thing too, it's almost like sometimes there's things you need to know and maybe really be concerned with, are you doing quality testing? Are you using marine collagen peptides? How are you sourcing that? But as far as ascorbic acid and how it's made, I mean, yes, I do find it interesting myself because it is pretty cool, but it's not anything that, yes, it's made through fermentation. It's made through fermentation. Basically what they do is they start with a very, very small amount of a natural source, and it can come from any vitamin C containing food. In fact, and I will say, we are using non-GMO corn. Okay, we are using that, and it's non-GMO. The product has all non-GMO, but we are using that because it's sustainable, cost-effective, and it's great. But then through fermentation, which yes, there are some bacteria that are used, right? Think of yogurt. Yogurt is healthy bacteria, right? So just like that, we're using bacteria to ferment and make big amounts that are then used in products. Again, it's not anything anybody needs to be concerned with. The end result is vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Your body consumes it, your body uses it. It's perfectly fine. It's really not, it shouldn't be a safety concern. It's just fine.
Thank you. Amazing explanation. Very, very helpful. Seeing a lot of heads nod. I have two more questions. And then if anybody, if you're okay on time, Sarah, if anybody wants to drop, if there are any questions that you have specifically that we didn't get to, please drop them in the chat box. But here are my last two questions. So the first is, we know that there's a challenge when it comes to seafood and sourcing and being mindful of mercury and lead and heavy metals and so on. So we get asked sometimes about heavy metal content in the marine collagen. What is Isagenix doing to test for this and so on?
Yeah, well, it just falls under our every product quality testing that we do. So we test the raw materials to make sure. So the marine collagen peptides on its own is tested before it's made into product to be sure that it's not unsafe levels of any heavy metals. And then also too, and one thing I will say, especially with marine collagen peptides, this is very different than, say, eating whole salmon or whole fish, where you're eating the fatty tissues, the protein, where those can accumulate the heavy metals. Right. So by just being collagen peptides, and it is a very, it's at the end of the process kind of. So by the time we're extracting those collagen peptides, there's no fat in there. There's no, tissue that really can accumulate. So it's already inherently a very clean part of the fish, the collagen peptides. But then, we are still though testing, and then we test the finished product to be sure that there's no unsafe levels of heavy metals, Not that it would really apply here, but there's also pesticides and some other contaminants that absolutely we are testing for, but that's just like, all of our products.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, we have such high standards and third-party testing on all of our products across the board. And that's what I always tell people, is just like we would test our raw materials and finished product for any type of impurities, microbial activities, pesticide, herbicide, et cetera. We're doing that for this product as well. And then actually was reminded of, so now I have two more. So pregnant, can you speak to the benefits for pregnant and nursing women using this product?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like with any, medical or not that pregnancy nursing is a health issue, but it is definitely a medical one that you definitely want to be speaking and working with your doctor about. However, though, I will say, collagen, and it's something that you can get in your diet, right? You can get it from food. So it's a pretty safe thing for most anybody to use, especially pregnant nursing, and also too looking at the benefits that it can have. I mean, doesn't matter if you're pregnant or nursing, you do still need skin support or joint support, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, all that. So absolutely, it should be fine. I haven't heard yet of either OBGYN doctor or somebody saying that, oh, I was told not to have collagen when pregnant or nursing. So it really should be just fine.
Yeah, a lot of people are using this pregnant nursing. And I was just reading another blog about the benefits of collagen and how inside of, this world of pregnancy, I'm not a mom, but I was reading about it. And apparently it is very highly recommended to supplement with collagen because of how the body is expanding and pushing to its limits, and it needs added joint support. And collagen actually can help with milk production and can help with to prevent excessive tearing, and can help with recovery and so on. So there's a lot of benefits there. And then finally, and then we'll see what questions are in the chat box. Can you speak to, we know that like with all of Isagenix products, these products do a lot more for us than we're able to compliantly put on the box and claim that it does. And so how can people compliantly, keeping this product and the company safe, share some of the amazing things that they are personally experiencing and witnessing?
Great question. And, as long, really the cardinal rule with that and any product supplement, just stay away from any real disease claims, right? Saying that it cured XYZ. And also too, now, especially even better that we have the clinical science, go to that Isagenix Health article and take out the buzzwords that you see, right? Increased collagen density, increased skin moisture. This one is pretty, you can talk about it, improving skin health, especially with those scientific results. It's really just anytime you're bringing up a specific disease state, medical condition, and then saying, collagen elixir cured this. And that's also too, not to teach you all how to be, go between the lines, but that's where also those before and afters really tell a story without saying much, So I think, and that's part of the reason why I think this product is so successful, is because of those very tangible before and afters that people saw to really spark their interest. With this one, you don't have to worry so much. And again, this isn't like it cured my dementia or whatnot. So as long as you stay away from stuff like that, you're fine.
Thank you, Sarah. And there are some questions in the chat box about specific diseases. So again, compliantly, we can't address any of those, but we always recommend that you can go and search collagen for whatever it is you're asking about. And then if it's for somebody, you can recommend that they ask their doctor for permission. Unless, Sarah, there's something you're seeing that you're able to speak to.
As far as is it allowed for people with cancer? There again, always best to speak with the oncologist. Of course, and I am no oncology expert, but I do know that sometimes cancer treatment or care is very, very dependent on the specific type of cancer. And then also, I mean, if there's one area that I love to hear about and all the advancements, it is cancer treatment and all the things that they're doing now that they can do. It's absolutely amazing. So I think it really is going to depend. And that's why, and hopefully whatever oncology or doctor team somebody is working with, have them bring up the collagen to be sure, because I think it's probably going to depend. But for the most part, it probably is okay, but it really just depends. Let's see, IBS is, that's kind of a tough one, obviously, because that's digestive issues in there too. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. There's not really a blanket statement or treatment plan or certain foods that cause issues for some and not others. So there, it's kind of going to have to be on an individual basis to try. I haven't heard too much of people with IBS having issues with the collagen. One thing I will say though, and I think I already said it, but if somebody does maybe find that having collagen elixir by itself, maybe it maybe feels a little upset stomach, try taking it with food or around food. That may help. Or for some, maybe if they're having 2 a day, maybe cutting back to 1. So there's certain things you can do to try, but again, IBS is just really a tough one. Though, I mean, and that's where, well, again, marine collagen, again, the body's going to use it for what it's for, but I would think IBS, especially since it's issues around the gut, and knowing that collagen does play a role in our organs, our internal organs, including the lining of our gut, there could be some benefit there for normal and regular collagen use. And that's where too, I would probably, for somebody like that, or wanting to really explore all the benefits of collagen, I would probably have a multi-type collagen regimen, right? Including type 1, but then, hey, maybe some collagen bone broth or the amped repair to get those other types of collagen to see if maybe that has an effect or benefit.
Yeah, I love that you brought up those other products, collagen bone broth and amped repair. For those of you who are in the in North American market, I know that when I was at the height of my health challenges and I brought collagen elixir to my doctor, she said, and she's read all the research about collagen, and she explained to me that when in like a very extreme health crisis, research has shown that a therapeutic dose, and I'm only bringing this up because I know there are a lot of doctors and health professionals on this call, but the therapeutic dose can be very beneficial at 15 grams a day. So she had me on 3 collagen elixirs to really help and support my organs, and it really helped to bring me back online. And also, of course, I was using a lot of amped repair at the time, and it tastes amazing, and collagen bone broth as well. So I love that you brought up really kind of getting collagen from the multiple sources, and Isagenix really has some fantastic products to cover those bases. We are right at the hour right now. Immune system support. Let's finish with that question. Immune system support with collagen.
Well, I mean, we do have the zinc and the vitamin C. However, though, they're more of like the daily amounts, right? They're not mega doses. So if wanting to consume zinc and vitamin C to maybe have more of an immune benefit, I probably would have some additional products of those in addition, right? Because really what's in the collagen elixir is really meant to give the body a good daily amount for making its own collagen and to support the marine collagen peptides. However, though, they absolutely do play a part in overall immune health. So it's not like you're not getting anything, but if you're wanting to, really support immune function, I would probably take a little bit more. And all too, I mean, in fact, I just saw a study not too long ago, but zinc picolinate, right? There's different types and chelates, but it's actually a different type of zinc that if you really want to get immune benefit, it would maybe have more of that effect. So I would probably look to that. Also too, I see somebody asking if the amount has collagen elixir is good for your overall daily recommended supplements. And not so much. That's where, something like our complete essentials, right? Where you're getting the full spectrum of vitamins and minerals, all the stuff that you need on a daily basis. And of course, even though I love my supplements, it's never just supplements or it's never just Isagenix alone, right? The perfect diet is Isagenix, but it's also combined with other overall healthy foods, right? It's never just Isagenix. We still need to eat. I mean, yes, Isagenix does make it a lot easier, but you still want to get overall healthy diet. And then also something like the complete essentials would be more of the product to cover your daily needs across the board of all your vitamins and minerals. Collagen elixir really is targeted for collagen production, skin, and those other benefits like joint or whatnot, but really the skin.
Awesome. Well, Sara, this has been wildly valuable to us all. One of the best things about partnering with us and Isagenix is that you get ongoing continuing education. So for those of you listening, if you feel like there's still any gaps or anything you'd like to further understand, please don't hesitate to reach out. We can always have, more master classes on different subjects. Of course, we can do something similar when it comes to rolling this out into your business, 1, 2, 3 step closing systems, sales systems, etc. So Sara, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for everybody who took time out of your day and evening to be here. And we will make sure to get the recording circulated. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.